back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my June wrap up of everything that I watched, read, and listened to the whole month of June. And I had a really good month, especially when it came to books, because I challenged myself this month. I did a whole week of reading romance books and had so much fun. Okay, let's just get started. Okay, so with the books, I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books this month. Let's start with the romance because I have been on a romance kick. In the month of June, I did a week of reading romance books and I did a vlog on that. I'll link it down below, where in that vlog I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. So the first two I read was a series. It's called 90s Kinda Love. And I got these from Amazon. I think there's like 6 books in the series, and I was able to get 3 because 2 of them is not available like physical form, but you can get them on like Kindle Unlimited. But they are inspired by 90s, songs. So the first one is Lay Your Head on My Pillow. That is Tony Tony Tone. And the second one is Pretty Brown Eyes, and that is Mint Condition. And this author, her name is Tanzia Glover. This one, her name is Tia Love. And these are eroticas. Next in the romance category, it was a new author that I just discovered last month. Her name is Brittany Cherry. And this book is The Air He Breathes. And this was a 5-star book. I really enjoyed this. It's like sometimes I want to go back and reread this book because it deals with grief. It deals with, loss. It's realistic, but you still have a happy ending. I think that's one reason why I do like, the romance books. They meet, the relationship starts, it's all lovey-dovey, a conflict happens, then they reconcile and they live happily ever after. I think that's the reason why I like the romance books, because towards the end you're gonna get a happier ever after 9 times out of 10. Next is Salvi Sheldon Feels Good as H by Taj McCoy. It gave me the movie Something's New by, who's in that? Sanaa Lathan. She's like the main character, where it's a girl that's really focused on her job, does really well, and her love department is kind of like obsolete, and she ends up falling for a man, like Gartner or whatever. And it's the same thing with this. And the author, in one of the interviews that I had watched, she said that she was inspired by that movie. And I was like, you know what? That's one reason why I wanted to read it, because I really like that movie. I actually own that movie. That's how much I like it. Then next is Vanessa Jarrett's Got a Man by LaQuate. Again, every time I see this book, I just have to mention the cover. Look at that cover. So pretty. And my main focus when I was doing my romance vlog is I wanted to read books by Black romance authors that are not just like heavily publicized, not like a Tia Williams or a Kennedy Ryan. I wanted to read like the hidden gems, and I always say the hidden gem books are always the best. And as y'all saw in that reading vlog, I had a time. It's an interracial couple, interracial relationship. You have a newly divorced woman, starts having a relationship with the local sheriff in town, and you see how it goes. And then lastly, for romance, I picked this up on a whim. And this actually is not by a Black author, and it's a series, and I am going to continue with the series because I really enjoyed it. I am currently reading the second book, but I put it on pause because I'm still trying to get into my TBR. But oh my gosh, it's called Only When It's Us, and it is the Bergman Brothers series. I believe there's 8 books in the series, and it's by Chloe Leese. And the reason why I like this book, they have disability representations throughout the book, throughout the series. And in this case, the young man, Ryder, he has problems hearing. He's deaf. He had like a ear infection and he lost his hearing. And you have a young woman named Willa. They both go to UCLA. They are seniors, I believe, and she is like a soccer champion, star athlete. And in order for her to pass this one class, she needs to get his notes. And because of his disability, he's able to have the notes that the professor lectures on. And she thinks that he's ignoring her because she asked for the notes and he doesn't say anything. He just like look at her, and then he turns his head and she's like, are you serious? And then time goes on, she realizes, oh, okay, yeah. And the second book that I'm reading, the girl, she I think she's autistic, and then she has, I think, like, is it multiple sclerosis or something like that. It was a friends to lover trope. Next is a J. Kelly Cooper book called Family. You guys know this year I'm doing my author project, and I'm focusing on one author's whole, catalog, and this is the one that I did this month. Every month I'm going to incorporate a book of hers until I'm done reading her fictional catalog. I believe I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 more to read. I need to get one more book by her that I don't have, and I will have read all of her works. She's known for her plays and her short stories, especially them short stories. This one was my first time reading a novel by her, and I really did enjoy it. This is a slavery themed novel. As you know, brutality comes with, slavery, and some things happen, but the reason why I like this book is you see her perspective, you see her mother's perspective, and you see her children's perspective. And the missus of the house. Also, the reason why I wanted to read this is because y'all know how much I rave and rant and love Yellow Wife by Sadiqa Johnson. And while she was doing her research, she said that she read this book. And if you have read Yellow Wife, you know the mistress of the house, Delphina. I don't want to give it away if you haven't read it, but they were kind of similar a little bit. They were different, but they had some similarities. And I was like, okay. But again, those books are in their own league. Yellow Wife is in its own league, and Family is in its own league. But really did enjoy this. I think I read this in like a day, because it's only like 200 and some pages. And yeah, I really do like J. Kelly Cooper. Lastly, for the books, I read our Unsung Black book club pick for the month of June, and it was Bedrock Faith by Eric Charles May. And this, loved it so much. This has, if you love that drama and that tea, like I always say, you are going to like this. This, oh my gosh. And we had such a good discussion. But this is dealing with a neighborhood, a Black neighborhood in the 90s. But yeah, in the 90s. But you have a young man, his name was Stupot, yeah. And he terrorized that neighborhood from the time he was a little boy all the way into his teenage years. But he goes to prison for about 15 years. Girl, this man come back, and they're like, oh, have y'all heard Stupot is back? Oh my gosh. It's like, close the blinds, lock the doors. But he has come back as a changed man. He has found Jesus. And yeah, but he's causes so much havoc, thinking that he's doing the works of the Lord. And oh girl, it is just, it's crazy. I highly recommend you guys read this. Okay, so that was it for the books. Now let's go to the films. Let me get my notebook. Okay, so this month I only watched 2 things. First, I watched Bridgerton. I had to finish that series because you guys know last month I read for the first time I watched Bridgerton, and that came out in like 2020 or something, and really wasn't interested. And then I watched it with my sister, and I was like, you know what? I think I like this. And then I said, while I was watching the series, I said, I want to read the books. And last month, y'all saw, I read all the books, all 8 books. And yeah, so I wanted to finish, the second part of the 3rd season. And I really did enjoy it. I do like Penelope. She's one of my favorites. And I would say from the Bridgerton, siblings, my favorite is Benedict. I like him in the books, and I do like him in the series. But beyond liking Benedict, who's my favorite Bridgerton, my favorite character out of the whole series is Lady Danbury. I love her so much. Every time she comes on the screen, I'm like, and have to rewind it, and I just love her so much. Love her. So yeah. And then the last film that I watched, it was a documentary, and it's called Tell Them You Love Me. And it's on Netflix. And how I came across this documentary, my sister said, she said, you need to watch this documentary on Netflix. All I'm going to say is it's a disabled boy and his teacher. I said, Went on Netflix, and my mouth was agape. I have watched this documentary about 3 times, and probably will watch it again. You have a young man. His name is Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson, he has cerebral palsy. He has the mind of a 6 to 12 month. He can't really talk. You know, he can say a little bit of words. And when I say a little bit, and you really can't understand. And you have a woman, her name was Anna, is it Stubblefield or something like that? She was a professor at Rutgers University. She was the professor of Derek's brother. He was in a PhD program. And they were talking about facilitation, like device or something like that. And it's a device where people that can't, verbally communicate, they have this device where they can tell you if they're hungry or how they feel, like that. And he inquired about it, and she said, well, I can set up a consultation and go see, your brother, da 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 da. So she does that, and she claims, the professor, that he is this brilliant mind and he's able to express himself and wrote papers and, took him to, conferences and all of that. But then she tells the mom and the brother, she claims that they were all together, and Derek, which she calls him D-Man, we are in love. He types that in. And they're looking like, what? She says, yes, and we have made love. And they're like taken back, like, wait, like what? Wait, what? And she goes on, says, I love him and I want to divorce my husband and marry him. I can't stop thinking about D-Man. And I just, oh my goodness. And what she told the mom, he's a man in every sense. Meanwhile, this young man has a mind of a 6 to 12 month old. Also, he cannot use the bathroom on his own. He wears a diaper. And one scene they described, the mom says, I have to know, like, how did you do this? How did you make love? And she says, well, in my office at Rutgers, I have a yoga mat and a beach towel, and I put him on the floor and we did what we did. You have to be sick to do that. Just think about that. He has a diaper and he has a mind of a 6 to 12 month old. She was convicted and she was sentenced 12 years, but she only served 2. She appealed it, and this lady lives a normal life. She has a house, a car. She works at home part-time, and again, live a totally normal life. And she claims that she did nothing wrong, that she fell in love with him. And, you have to give him some credit because he seduced me and he wooed me. Off her mind. This lady is unbelievably off. If you watch, you can see them eyes crazy. And what also kills me about this story is, why wasn't this heavily publicized? Because if that was a white boy and a black instructor, she would have been under the jail, okay? Please, you guys watch it. Again, like I said, I've watched it 3 times and will watch it again because it just fascinates me how this lady was able to just do and live life. And yeah, also I love the end part where they have a still shot of Derek, because I don't call him D-Man, his name is Derek. They have a still shot of him, and you can see, like, oh, she's real off, because how in the world can you seduce a person that looks like that? And when I mean looks like that, again, he is mentally challenged. Yeah. So that's all I watched this month. Now, lastly, for what I listened to, you remember last month I told you guys I didn't buy any vinyls, and that's rare for me, okay? But I did make up this month, and I bought 2 vinyls and listened to 3 albums in total. But the 2 vinyls that I bought, first is Amy Winehouse. This is currently on my record player, and this is the Back to Black. The reason why I got this, I was watching an interview, I think it was CBS News, and they were talking about the new film that came out about her. It's a biopic. I haven't seen it, and I really don't plan on seeing it, but it got me interested in her music. I've known about Amy Winehouse. I remember when she came out, and I've always liked her, but I never listened to a full body of her works. And this album is bomb, okay? Let's say I love Rehab. That was a single. And I love, my new favorite song by her is Tears Dry on Their Own. That was also a single. I like Me and Mr. Jones, and I like Just Friends. Yeah. So this is a very good album. And then the next album I listened to was A Greatest Hits by Aaliyah, the I Care For You. I remember when this came out. This came out after she had passed back in 2001. I got this on CD because I was a Aaliyah fan. And I got this from Amazon and it was only like $20. I'm like, oh, I have to get this. And it's such a pretty edition. First of all, look at that. She was such a pretty girl. And then look how it opens up. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. So I like all these songs on this Greatest Hits, but they also have some songs that were unreleased. So the unreleased songs I like is Erica Kane. I like Come Over. Don't Know What to Tell Ya. And then from the other songs, of course, Are You That Somebody, One in a Million, I Care For You More Than a Woman, you know, back and forth. So yeah. And then the last album that I listened to and listened to the whole body of works is India Ari. I saw a clip of her singing on TikTok. It's an older video, but she was singing live Brown Skin. And oh my gosh, I've been a fan of India Ari. Again, I remember when she came out. I remember her song Video. That was like her first single, and waiting to watch it because that was during the time videos were good. But I've always liked India Ari. I like Neo Soul, the Jill Scott, the Maxwell, you know, D'Angelo. So so when I came across that video, I said, you know what? I want to listen to her work. I want to listen to her albums again, and really enjoyed that album. I can find her on vinyl. I will. I'm on the hunt to get it. Music is just, it's timeless. It's really good. So yeah, guys, that's all I have when it comes to my June wrap up. Again, had a good month, read a lot, listened to some good music, watch some good programs. So yeah, but that's all I have for you guys. I'll be back with more Black Books.